tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland. Are you prepared to do that?
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke. Any group of hate, whether it's white supremacy, whether it's any other kind of supremacy, whether it's Antifa, whether it's any group of hate, I am very concerned about it, and I'll do something about it.
Now, I played that clip for a very specific reason, or those clips. Because, of course, you know, the left always wants to say, Trump hate, he never denounced white supremacy and all this other stuff. And as you guys saw, I don't even know, I'll probably edit out a few of them. Because that was a little long. I'll admit that. There was right there 15 different times. I'll probably cut out some of them. So you may have only seen 10. I don't know. But there's a lot of different times and circumstances where he's denounced it. And over July 4th, Independence Day, we had the Patriot Front marching in D.C. And of course, there was a photo op that happened that I would say was completely fake. And I'll explain why I think it was fake. But yeah, these guys,
the Patriot Front. That lady looks just like. Oh yeah. You're doing good, bud. You're doing good. We got plenty of stuff. How many viewers we got?
Team 4 season now.
Let's go. It's incredible. What's up, YouTube? You guys having fun? Happy 250, guys. Happy 250. I know it's hard.
Yeah, so that is the Patriot Front. Yeah, the guys who
Folks from the city
march around wearing masks, who are clearly leftists in my humble opinion, because leftists like Antifa are the only people who wear masks. Real patriots don't cover our face. We don't need to. Okay, so that's just my humble opinion on it. You guys can let me know in the comments if you agree. Why or why not? Okay, but
that's why they should
there
arrest
was a
all the
photo that
motherfuckers.
came out of this entire situation because they hopped on to the subway, and there was this black chick who was sitting down on the subway, and of course, mainstream media has taken it and run with it like they always do. You know, trying to stir up some nonsense, but it's actually, in reality, I think it kind of backfires on them in an interesting way, and I'll explain why here in just a second. But here is BS Now, aka MSDNC, and them trying to run with this racist narrative. Check it out.
So black women on the metro here in Washington, surrounded by those folks from the Patriot Front. And then on the left is that fellow students at Little Rock Central High School. She is one of the Little Rock Nine. The parallels here,
like more than racist bullshit.
Michelle.
That photo is probably Pulitzer worthy. It's a little early to start talking about that, but that photo is one instance of a woman on a bus surrounded by people who are wearing masks, who are about to march from Washington carrying Confederate flags. But I see that photo and I see America's workplaces. I see America's school systems, and those men are wearing masks, but they go and they surround women like her in their workplaces. They will go back to a place where they can take off their mask, and then they will be working someplace where their obnoxious ideas, will be put in place in hiring decisions, in decisions about who gets a mortgage and who doesn't. However, when I look at them marching, trying to project power, I don't see power, I see fear. I see the projection of fear. I see people who are afraid of a future that has already arrived. They are afraid of an America that is multicultural. They are worried about a multicultural democracy. They are worried about losing power. They want to create an America where white people and white men are dominant. And, America has to then decide, do we want to hold on to our superpower status? Do we want to be prominent in the world, or do we want to be a supremacist nation?
I see exactly what you see when you say you see fear, because they know what they have done with being the majority in this country. And so their concern is that we, black women, brown women, the black and brown folks who at some
Your
point
stupid
will
ass up.
inherit the majority of this country will do the same thing to them that they
I
have
just
done
don't like
to
y'all
us.
stupid people, boy, that didn't talk to be fucking stupid. And don't want to let stupid
Talking
alone.
about the contrast between these two images. Ooh, look at the black little girl getting yelled at by the white folks, the racist white people. These Patriot Front guys aren't even bothering her. Nobody's yelling, nobody's screaming, nobody's pointing at her, nobody's touching her. I can't even find a video where any of them said anything to her. Right?
You're right. I ain't
She's
seen
not
that
being
neither.
stabbed like
I ain't
Irina
seen
was,
none.
Ukrainian by the black gentleman.
From another
Okay,
country?
she's not being harassed in any way, shape, or
None.
form.
None.
She's chilling.
He
She
chilling.
just happens to be around a bunch of white
White
folks.
people. None.
What's wrong with that? So basically, what mainstream media is saying is that all white people are racist. Is what it sounds like to me. That's the narrative that they're trying to push. All white people are racist. And whenever you're around a bunch of white people,
Feel
it's
scared.
a horrible, terrible thing. You
Feel
need to be in
scared.
fear for your life.
Real scared.
Because, and she just so happened to be around a bunch of white folks that are probably leftists because they're covering their face. And once again, I think anybody who covers their face is a leftist.
It's a message, yeah.
Look at Antifa. Look at COVID, right? The folks who wanted to wear the mask constantly. It was a bunch of leftists. Both times. Okay? So yeah, anybody who's covering their face, they're leftists.
Me
They're
too.
leftists.
That's
It's fake.
me too. It's fake.
These aren't people who are on the right. Not found
Damn
at
right.
least. Now, of course, when you got Jake Tapper coming out and doing his thing, yeah, you know this is 100% fake. I'm not going to play this whole clip because not even I want to listen to Jake Tapper. Guy's annoying to me, but yeah.
Shocking, stark image taken on the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. on the Metro from Reuters. It's the picture of a young girl sitting alone and brave, a young black girl surrounded by all of these white masked men, too afraid to show their faces in public. These are men.
Yeah, and he goes on into some other shenanigans that I'm not trying to listen to. So yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Nobody bothered her. Nobody said anything to her as far as what I saw. She seemed pretty safe. Which is crazy because you can't say the same thing about if she was on a subway full of YNs. Yeah, these black little kids just running around doing all types of crazy stuff. She probably would have got robbed. But the irony is, she's around a bunch of white people who, of course, mainstream media calls a bunch of white supremacists racist. But she seems pretty safe to me. Just saying. Just saying. Now, of course, here's CNN and Dana Bash doing the same thing. Check it out.
Because we were talking about the far left, I do want to talk about what I was discussing with Secretary Burgum.
Did you notice what she said there? Oh, well, see, because we're talking about the far left, now I want to talk about, well, she didn't say the far right, but she kind of implied, now let's talk about the far right, these white supremacists. It's like, no, these folks are not a part of the right. We do not claim these individuals. We don't want these individuals' support. We don't like these types of individuals. People who cover their face are cowards. We don't do that. We don't do that Antifa stuff. If we got something to say, we're going to show you our face and we're going to say it loud and proud. Ain't no shame behind our game. None. You understand me?
I do want to talk about what I was discussing with Secretary Burgum, which is a march that happened yesterday morning on the 4th of July in D.C., white nationalists in and around the Capitol, and whether or not it was big or small, there was definitely a moment that was captured that has gone viral, which we're putting on the screen now, of the people who came to march surrounding a young African-American woman.
Man, they were surrounding
And
a woman.
the question,
Stop
I'll start
lying.
with you, since you're an elected Republican sitting here. When you see that march, what do you say?
What I say is that is not the soul of America. Look, we are all created equally. That is what our whole
whole emphasis is based on here in this country. And I would just not ignore it, but I don't pay that much credence to it because that does not represent the soul of America. We in America believe in inequality. And that is simply not reflective, certainly not of the Republican Party, I can assure you of that.
You know, I watch this and I think about all the sort of the struggle of America. America has had great triumphs, but it's also had trials. I had to have a conversation with my kids the other day about the 4th of July because our family weren't free on the 4th of July. Our literally ancestors were enslaved on the 4th of July. And so while America has had amazing things that's happened, we also have these moments where we have this other darker part of our soul that exists inside of it. But our kids are strong enough. My kids they got it immediately. Our kids are strong enough to understand this. They're big enough they can do it. And we want our kids to be stronger and to be able to take care of what's coming that we can't even imagine the world they're going to inherit. We've got to give them all the facts so that they're able to compete. And right now, the president's approach is to ignore the tough parts about America. And that's going to make our kids not able to deal with the hard parts in their own life.
I mean, I think that's a part of the exceptionalism, though, I would say, Jamal, right? You think about the history of our country and where our ancestors began and where we are today. Now, I agree with you. There's certainly still trials that we must overcome. But, man, you think about the past couple hundred years when we couldn't read, couldn't do basic math. We've had a black president. We see black entrepreneurs, inventors, creators. We're dominating in so many different sectors. I'd like to see us do a bit more in the science and business realm, but we're slowly getting there. And so to me, that speaks to the essence of who we are. We're imperfect, we're flawed, and yet the system enables us to continue to improve.
Why won't the president make that case?
That's exactly. Did you vote for me then if I ran for president?
I mean, what I will also tell you is that Republicans are marching on the streets of Washington, D.C. is because he pardoned everyone who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. He has emboldened the white supremacists. So where is the Republican Party, including the president, in speaking out when it comes to these white supremacists on our streets?
You know, the irony here, I mean, we look at this panel here, and who is the grandson of a sharecropper? Who is the son of a shift worker in a paper mill? Who is the first one in his extended family to go to college and to graduate? And now he's walking the halls of Congress. You want to talk about the American dream? I've lived the American dream.
And as you guys heard there, this chick you see right there on the screen is one of the big reasons why I played that clip at the beginning. The Republican Party doesn't denounce this. Where's Donald Trump in denouncing this? See what they always do? The man has the... Let me go back. Let me go back to that clip from earlier. Okay, so here's that compilation clip. Let's go all the way to the end. 38 times. 38 times he's denounced white supremacy.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America.
38 times, and you still have people on the Communist News Network saying he never did it. That's our news. That's our news. There's one compilation clip, almost 5 minutes long, of him denouncing it 38 times, almost 40 different times. And your mainstream media will sit there and look you dead in the face and tell you that he never did it. And that is why people like me exist. Because if mainstream media was doing their job, you wouldn't care to watch me. You just turn on your television, right? So, I mean, I guess thank you, mainstream media, but this is just ridiculous. Like, to blatantly lie like that. Blatantly lie like that is just crazy.